Well, Darryl, I'm not
I don't
asking
know
you.
how to
I'm not
run your
asking you
life.
how you're going to run my life. I'm sorry. Listen, I don't mean to get you
You're
this upset.
asking me how
I'm just
everything
asking
will
how
work in a
people
free
will know.
society.
I'm just asking, yeah, like a simple thing, like how do you establish property rights in this other paradigm, this other freedom paradigm that you're talking about? You have competing agencies that are going to offer deeds, and I'm just curious as to how do we determine which one is going to be the deed that is actually the one that is recognized? I mean, how do we establish these things that you're talking about?
Well, let me ask you this question, Sam. If you have 5 people that issue deeds to 5 different agencies, or rather 5 different agencies that try to say different people own the land, there would be some kind of coming together to try to figure out exactly who the owner is. If you've got, let's say, 4 people recognize Sam owns this property and one says Darryl owns this property,
right?
Well, nobody is really going to wind up trusting the one that goes against the grain unless there's, some provability of corruption going on. But
well, who would be the
arbiter
of this? Who would be the arbiter of this? I mean, here's my problem: is that
I
know. Now, hold, Darryl. Darryl, you gotta let me finish now, okay? This is
I don't know who the arbiter would be. I don't know what size font they would use on the paper. I don't know.
Well, I think that's a different. That's a different.
The signature would
that's
be.
a different.
I don't know
that's
what
a different
time
issue.
the sun will set on June 31st of 2102.
You can look that up
I don't
online.
know these questions.
But Darryl, listen to me. Listen. You got to let me finish, because this is my point, is that I know one of the things you're talking about.
You're wanting me to centrally plan liberty, and that's not what I'm interested in,
Well,
Sam.
I understand you're not interested in that, but you're trying to make a pitch to America that libertarianism is better.
I'm making a pitch that you're smart enough to be able to decide for yourself, and you don't have a right to force your opinions on other people.
First of all, I have an absolute right to forcefully give my opinion.
People to do what you want
to do. Darryl, I'm just asking.
You are a madman, Sam, if you think that you have a legitimate right to force people to do what you want them to do.
I didn't say that. You talked about my opinion.
You did.
Now, Darryl.
Sam, let me make a statement. Otherwise, I will disconnect.
Okay.
I said you do not have a right to force people to do what you want them to do, and you said, yes, I do.
No.
So you said that you have a right to force people to do what you want them to do.
My opinion. Force my opinion on people. But Darryl, look.
That's different than
Darryl, don't change. Darryl, please.
You will go to
can
jail
we?
Unless you do.
Listen, I understand that you're uncomfortable with the scenario that I'm presenting. But this is the reason why I'm using this illustration. Darryl, now it's my turn to threaten you that I'm going to have to mute you if you won't let me at least finish my thought. Now, come on.
Go ahead, finish your thought, and
quit
trying to force me to centrally plan liberty.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure I know what that means, but my point is this: is that libertarians, if I'm not mistaken, do not like the fact that a government has a monopoly of force. And I am suggesting that in this case of a piece of property where we don't know who it belongs to, there are 3 agencies that say it's mine. There's 1 agency that says it's yours. You believe that your agency is the most legit agency and that my 3 agencies are corrupt. I believe I've got 3 agencies. 3 is more than 1. Well, you say, look, I'm going to go find 2 other agencies that say that this property belongs to me. And then the question becomes, how do we resolve this? And you're saying, like, well, it's just going to work out. And I'm saying that at the end of the day, when we actually walk through this in reality, even if it's your paradigm, your reality,
freedom doesn't work.
I'm saying that's
right. You're saying freedom doesn't work.
I'm saying that's correct. That we're going to need an authority that's going to adjudicate this. And that authority ultimately is going to have a monopoly of power. And the only way that we're going to function and not end up in a fight that is going to determine this is if we all agree mutually, my agencies, your agencies, my people, your people, we all agree to submit to a authority that has a monopoly of power. Now, the best case scenario is that we make sure that this authority is at least as representative of us as possible. That's what I'm suggesting.
Let me ask this question, Sam.
Yes.
What happens if I don't pay taxes to your authority?
To our authority?
What happens? You're the one saying that we need a group that has legitimate use on the force of violence to force people to do what is best. And I'm saying, what should happen to me if I refuse to pay for your agency that is going to force people to do what you believe is best?
So in other words,
if I decide I don't like your agency killing people in the Middle East, I will not fund that. What should happen to me?
Well, I mean, I think if you don't pay your taxes to our government, they'll ultimately put you in jail.
No, I'm asking you, Sam, what do you think should happen? Not what does happen, because we know what does happen. What do you think? I want you to say it. I want you to say that I belong in jail because I don't pay taxes.
If you don't pay taxes to the U.S. government, ultimately, I think you belong in jail.
Thank you for saying that, Sam. You're a horrible, despicable person. Thank you for having me on your show.
Darryl? Darryl?
All of a sudden, I look like a mental health heavyweight.
Well,
Walter Block looks like the Dalai Lama.
Well, I thought he was talking hypothetically. I don't think that I would necessarily put him in jail right now. But yeah, I think if you don't pay your taxes that are due, yeah. I mean, I think if it's, I think you should get an opportunity to pay a fine first. And, but I think he wanted me to say, he kept saying, say it. So I said it. And I'm sorry that ended so quickly.
Me too.
I didn't even I didn't even get to the opportunity to ask him about the requirement for licenses. Is it worth it, me trying to call him back? I mean, I wanted to.
Why not?
Let's take a break.
Well, here's what I would say.
I want to just talk. I didn't mean to offend him.
Here's what I would say. I would exercise your freedom by calling him back.
I was having a conversation, and, for him to hang up on me because I said something that he found offensive in that way, I think is just, frankly, I think it's rude. I mean, we're trying to exchange intellectual ideas. This was not an ad hominem attack. I didn't say he's a criminal. I thought he was talking in a hypothetical scenario. I also think that if he commits any other crime that is ultimately, he skips bond, let's say, and doesn't do what the court says, that yes, people got to go to jail. I don't know how else you compel people to follow the laws of the country. I mean, I think, should I call him back afterwards? I mean,
I would try him again. Why not? Let's see if we can all be civil.
I didn't.
I think he was looking for a place to jet back out of that conversation.
You don't think he was trying? You think he was trying to jump out of the conversation?
Oh, most definitely. But I would give him a call back.
Because I don't think that's fair. Because I think that would you email him?
I would. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable about him having my email address.
Well, he already
does.
To
be honest with you,
so send him an email and ask him if I can call him back. I don't want to do it if it's rude, but I think I think there's an impression that people might get from that he couldn't defend his ideas, and I don't think that's a fair conclusion to draw. I think he just got a little bit overheated. He has been.
I'm writing to him right now.
He's been
points taken.
Waging.
You, of course, Sam is indeed a madman and a horrible person.
Listen, just honestly, we just send him an email and say, look, I don't want people to have the impression that Darryl couldn't defend his ideas. I mean, that one of the reasons why we want him on the program is that he has been out there willing to debate the ideas. And I think that, because I said an idea, I mean, frankly, there are ideas that he had that I find offensive. Just